6:04 p.m. for the Park Board. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have a quorum. We have 4 of our 5 members here. A consideration of minutes. If you guys look at your packet, there are 2 sets of minutes. If you've been able to had a chance to look over them. One from January and one from emergency park board meeting that I was absent from, so I'll have to abstain from that.
Do we want to vote on those separately or vote to approve them together?
I would vote on them separately since I have to abstain from one.
I move to accept the minutes from the December 20, or the January 28th meeting.
I second.
David, all in favor?
Aye.
And it passes. And the minutes from the emergency board meeting from the February 9th.
I move we accept those.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes pass. Moving on. The next thing on our is new business, leagues and organizations. Will, I'll let you lead that.
All right, we have 2 of the leagues here. Matt Felter couldn't be here. His kids kind of, so he has a statement, and I'll read that to you. But I thought one of you guys, if you want to go ahead and hop up there, and you don't have to stay around too after you've done your spiel and the question.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for having us tonight. My name's Chris Chiodo, Danville Little League Baseball. Here to kind of give you an update as to where we're at currently for this upcoming season. A little bit about last year. Last year was actually a successful year for us. We were able to get pretty much a full season in, given the circumstances last year. Thank you to all of you for allowing us to do that. I know we had some meetings last year to work through some of the specifics and safety measures that we took, and it ended up being a very successful season for us. So thank you for that. As far as registration numbers for this year so far, numbers are looking pretty consistent from years past. They're down just a little bit. We attribute that to a couple different things. Some of the classes that are coming in are smaller than what we've seen. We graduated larger numbers of kids that kind of aged out this last year. So we see a little fluctuation in numbers there. Currently, right now, we've got, 165 registered for the 2021 season. Registration will continue through March 6th. Last year, our numbers were at 221 last year. So a difference of 56 right now. So I have a feeling within the next, 10 days or so that we're still open. We'll probably see that number come up, dip into that 56, probably be short, maybe around 30 kids or so is what I anticipate. Number of teams will probably stay about the same. Last year, 4 teams in our AA division, 4 in our AAA, 6 in our majors. This year will probably, depending on where they end up, they may change a little bit, so maybe be down 1 team each division. Our junior division, which is our 13 and 14-year-olds, actually is seeing a upswing in numbers. Those are those kids that are graduating out of the kind of the littler field. So they're the kids that play on the big diamonds, 60 feet, 90 feet. So you see a number in that. Currently, right now, we're sitting at 21 kids in that division. Years past, we've only had like 1 team. So that number will probably continue to grow as well. So hopefully we'll have 3 teams there. So all in all, numbers pretty consistent with years past. So happy with that. As far as the timeline for our season, we are still looking at our Opening day will be Saturday, April 17th, okay? And it'll run through Saturday, June 12th. Okay? We'll play during the week and on the Saturdays. We're looking right now at, so 2 years ago, we had our Little League Jamboree. We're still hoping that we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. We're taking steps to still have that, but we'll see what happens in the next few weeks with COVID and if we think it's safe to have that. So that's still not a definite on that yet. The Jamboree itself, if we do have it, it'll be structured the same. We'll have some fun games. We'll have each team be competitive and have some competitions within each division. So it'll be a fun time for everyone to come down, get some food, and just have a good time. As far as, I think that's probably really about it. So, questions for me?
What was the date of the
Uh,
Is that the opening day?
no, it was the 10th. It was the week before. It was the 10th. Yes. Yep.
I like to make things look pretty when you have stuff.
Looking at April the 10th, because the 3rd is Easter, correct? Yeah. Yep. So, questions?
I'm glad to hear that your numbers are consistent.
Yeah, I mean, we were a little concerned, obviously with everything going on, but, last year, like I said, we had a successful season. We had a lot of kids come out, given the circumstances last year when it was, kind of at the height of everything. So, we were really happy with the turnout last year. And, like I said, numbers are about the same, so we're happy there as well.
Well, I know I and the board all wish you the best season,
Thank you.
so good luck.
Thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions for Chris? Any concerns? Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
You're up.
Hello again, hello.
Hello again.
Brent Pope, Pee Wee Baseball. And again, thank you for allowing us to get going again, use park fields, things of that nature. Last year, we had, to give you an idea, our ages are 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-old boys and girls, okay? We had 210 signed up last year. We lost 12 that decided not to play due to concerns of COVID. So we started at 198. No problems during the year. Everyone, no illnesses, no sicknesses. Everybody did fine. Had a great time. We only had about half a season, which was okay, because I don't take our little ones into July. If we wanted to extend the season, we could have, but it just gets too hot for 4s and 5s in July heat. So I just want to get them out there to have fun, and that is what our league does. We get out there to have fun and get ready to move on from there. This year, right now we're at registration 195. I expect, low 200s again in kids. That would be 16 teams. And as far as needs, if you have a backhoe, Diamond 2, that concrete piece behind second base, we can get that dug out, okay?
We've got a couple of triaxles.
So outside of that, we're in good shape, ready to go from there. And we look forward to another great season. Everybody has fun, and that's what we're about. We don't have league champions. Ours is about just getting out there and playing, having fun, having a good time, learning. So that's where we're at right now.
How many teams, or did you say
16.
16?
Which is typical. We typically run in the, over the years, we've had high years, low years, it just kind of goes. The 220 range is, 210, 220 is about average for what we're doing, so we should be in there too, so.
Anybody else have any questions for Brent? I see Jim's on the online. Any questions for Brent, Jim, or David? Okay, well, hearing none. Well, thank you and wish you the best of luck having a good season as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
Side note too on that.
Side note.
Easter is that break time, doing some sort of hybrid thing. So technically, that Saturday's okay if you guys want to have something. Our rubber duck race, we're going to do kind of a live funny thing. Still going to do it, but we're going to do it recorded on a different date and then make it kind of fun. So you will have that date if you do.
Saturday, April 3rd.
3rd, yes.
That's.
Yep. Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Get a jump on it. Give you more rain dates, I guess, too.
Especially the spring.
Yeah, yeah. All I got.
Okay.
You want me to read the junior basketball?
Yeah, if you please.
He pretty much just summed up. They had in rec basketball 164 participants, in boys, girls 103 participants, boys travel 70, girls travel 43. I'll get this to you. Total 380 participants. He just wanted to say thank you. It's been a rough year, but a successful by letting them have the opportunity to use the Bostic Gym. They had a lot of extra expenses because of jumping in and out of tournaments, but they believe participation numbers will come up this next. Yeah, really good little note from Matt.
Cool, thank you. Okay, anybody else have anything else before we move on? No? Okay, next is the project priority starter list.
So, as we talked last time for the retreat, we're going to work on this project priority list. So I just wanted to give it to you ahead of time so that you would have it before the next meeting. We sat down as a staff and kind of went over some things and items that we thought were coming on our list, and it's a pretty aggressive list. We'll chop off quite a bit of it, but just wanted to have it there in front of you so that you could on what we want to do in the next couple. So that next meeting again will be at noon in here. March 24th or 25th, I believe.
25th, I think.
Yeah. And we are going to do lunch too, so it'll be a kind of working. And any other items that you would like to be on. May do a little tour as well. 'Cause I think all I have for that one.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Concerns? We're moving on then. Old business. RIF and master plan update.
I started working on this a little bit, just getting them the maps and other items. Should start moving pretty quickly here soon. I know I reached out to David. Doing those meetings here. Moving along. It'll be a long process, probably the whole thing.
Okay, anybody have any questions on the RIF and master plan update? David, thank you for volunteering to be on that. Let's move on to sights and sounds.
Sights and sounds, they actually reached out to me, what was it, yes? Forwarded on to two of you guys that were involved. They have 2 acts. They're going to do July, the first day in July, and then the second day in August, with the bigger event being the second. Yes, I already billed them, so they're all booked and ready to go. Had 2 changes, but they were like guaranteed, so it's on. I think we're good to go, so that'll be a good first go to see
Yeah.
how that works. We also have Levi Riggs, Rotary in May, and then Shannon Shervin rented it again in late July, I believe, or early August for her tribute thing. So I mean, we're gonna have probably 9 or 10 concerts.
That's great.
And we've actually finalized. We have a Melon Cougar band, so it's a Mellencamp tribute band, so that'll be kind of cool. And then we have a Led Zeppelin tribute band, and then we have pretty good shows for this year. All I got.
What were the dates on those again? Well, July 3rd and
Which ones?
the Sights and Sounds?
Sights and Sounds are the first Saturday in July and the second Saturday in August. Bigger one being
Okay. Okay. Any questions? Move on, and now the retreat.
kind of
Just kind of talked about that. Let's go on and host request update.
So we did meet again about the host fund meeting, and we don't have any final results on that yet. Hopefully March 3rd, I believe, if they do pass everything. We do have a couple items on there: the pool safety, the tower. Yeah, that's pool slate. We have a couple of things on there. Been looking to do for a while. Hopefully those get passed and move forward, but I'll keep you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
Nope.
Hearing none, we're going to move on to the awning. Is the awning happening yet?
Within 16 weeks.
16 weeks.
16 weeks?
Yeah. So
They cannot give us a shorter
we
window?
had to have it custom built. That's where kind of the problems are. They thought that they could just mount it to the building, but then Barry got involved and didn't want it to be just mounted to the. Yeah. But it'll be beautiful when it's there, and it'll probably last 50 to 100 years. You know, and
Okay.
it's fairly inexpensive. I feel your pain. Looks like some sort of rugged ladder or something up there right now.
Anybody have any questions or comments about the awning? I will refrain. Moving on to Winterland.
I couldn't remember if I brought you the actual final numbers, so I
You
wanted-
hadn't yet. Those are nice to see.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure you had those.
What a good year.
Yeah, really good year. Probably won't touch a year like this for a couple of years, but just because of the COVID factor was a benefactor to us. We had crowds like we couldn't almost even handle.
Oh, huh?
It'll be a really good revenue generating year too, so we're trying to fix some stuff. We've been working on some stuff, trying to knock a couple things out for next year. So, we did finally get the check for the archway that was damaged, so we are purchasing another one of those. I sent an email out. They're supposed to send me the final invoice, and then
So can Gary fix the old one to put it over my driveway?
right now it's buried in the snow, so we can't really. We want to look at it one final time to see if we can keep a couple of them. But it was pretty ravaged. We looked at it.
I've been teasing him ever since the light show began, that
Yeah.
the light tunnel is, when any guys are done with it, goes over my driveway.
Yeah, he doesn't like the light show too much.
I know. Trust
We
me.
sing Christmas songs and stuff when
I
we're
know.
doing stuff, and he hates it.
I know. Okay, well, this is really good to see these numbers in Winterland.
Yeah, if you see in 18, I really started tracking a little bit
Yeah.
more hardcore on. I really wanted the chamber info, so I've always been kind of pulling that now and dropping it in. So in another year or two, we'll have a really nice spread to look at, see, forecasting stuff.
How did their Santa thing work?
They were happy with it. I mean, they only brought in, I think, $1,000 or something when they made.
I mean, because usually it's, the kids go in and sit on Santa's lap. This
Yeah.
year it was just a walk by the
They did a
windows.
great job though with what they had to work with. I mean, it looked pretty legit. At first, you're like, oh, he's gonna be in a window, and then you came up there and you're like, oh wow, they really made this thing look nice.
Cool. I didn't go in to see that, so I was wondering
Yeah,
how
I
well
was,
that
I was
worked.
actually impressed by it because what they had to deal with. 'Cause we were worried that they weren't going to do Santa, and that would have been a bigger thing. Really would have, just for the kids to not have it happen.
You know, looking at the income compared to 19 and 18, I mean, they didn't make nearly as much money,
Yeah.
but still, overall, it just did really, really well.
Yeah, it was a great year. And we're looking at some opportunities for next year with some changes and stuff. We thinking about maybe taking the pickleball courts and making it a walkable area so that we could have it fenced off when it's not to keep it alive, you know. Just adding that other option because that's something we kind of don't have, and it's not really safe to walk in Ellis Park when
No,
you know,
it's not.
when cars are going around with their lights off. So that's kind of like our remedy for that. We'll have a bunch of picture spots in there, and we were going to do some like animated stuff. It's still in the works. There's no guarantee because I think it's going to be a lot of little stuff, which is going to cause us a lot of work. So we're going to kind of see what that balance is. It may be a 1 year try it, and it fell apart. But
What
we're
if
gonna
the
try.
walking area expanded to North Park?
We talked about that too. It's just very hard to navigate that and get people back.
I'm just thinking of parking and then walking traffic by the Santa shop. I mean, you already have the walking and the parking for the
Having them
Santa.
walk over.
And having them walk, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could have them to where they couldn't park in Ellis. You know, they had to just do the loop, and then they had to park in North Park and walk over. But
No, not that. I didn't mean that.
that would be nice, though.
It would be nice, but it would still be dangerous. I mean, you still have people walking in the dark around traffic with headlights off. That's what I was thinking never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Anybody get any good ideas? I can write them down.
Yep.
Okay, anybody have any questions or concerns about Winterland? Hearing none, we'll move on. The DAC update.
We've been doing some more little stuff in there. We had the app audio, which is the sound for the treadmills. It went out, so we've been working on that. We've been painting the front entrance. Also, working on the awning thing. We had to do an upgrade with the Lions Club, the Lions team. They secured a camera from the schools that will now do live streaming for their games. You'll be able to subscribe. Well, we get free access to that too, so if we wanted to, we could help out the Little Leagues, or we could do options there if we ever had an event or something. And it actually tracks the ball, so there's no person operating the camera. It does all the stuff itself. And it zooms in on the scoreboard and everything too. It's really cool. It's like $5,000 or $10,000 system that they got to use for free. So the only caveat was we had to run the wiring. So
Well, that's a no-brainer.
yeah, so we jumped in. We did, spent maybe a day, ran the wiring, and got it all hooked up into our lock system. Have access. Kind of exciting. So their playoff games, they'll be able to stream live. It should be up and running.
That usually the middle of March, or when are their?
Yeah, I mean
playoffs?
that's I think in 2 weeks, something like that.
It's
Around 2
right
weeks.
there in the
There's-
middle of March Madness.
You can always kind of tell because their crowd gets bigger towards the end of their season. It's like really small when it starts, and then I think they maybe had 200 people there this past game. Yeah, we may need to talk about that in the future too. We really want to probably mandate that he has security for his games. Viewers and just because we've had a couple instances where it's not good, and no matter what, even though we're just landlords, it's still going to look bad on us.
Oh,
If
we're still
anything's
liable.
damaged, that's
It's on
it's
us.
still going to be our problem. So I think it's something in the contract next year. I'd like to add that along with some other things, but just to kind of, make sure we're covered. And he used to have police presence every time, but then I think money got tight, and so he's trying to save money by not having them. But after this last one, I'm kind of like, oh, you're gonna. And then I think once he gets into the tournament, the competition's going to get higher, so the possibility for those kind of things to happen is greater. So we're just going to kind of mention some of those things about going this route.
Okay, anybody have any questions about the DAC update? Concerns? Hearing none, let's move on to financials year-to-date.
We really haven't spent any money. We've been pretty frugal starting out of the year. We are going to buy a tent top for the Blanton house. That'll be a big expense, about $6 to $8 grand somewhere in there. But really haven't spent.
How much life have you gotten out of the last one?
It's kind of weird. The first one we got like almost 4 years, and this one like 2. It was really bad, and we kind of like leaped through this last one. We found some methods for plugging holes. We actually caulked the holes in the ceiling. Like we used to patch them, but then they turned brown because of the glue. So now if we caulk them, you never see them, and it's nice and has a good finish, and you never even know. It doesn't look like the Starry Nights when you go inside it. So it may be something where I would love to have a semi-permanent facility out there. I think it's more of a barn to the south. Do like a nice barn or something, and then we have the courtyard open all the time, and then the reception park. We'll have to wait a couple years because last year was pretty.
How much did the one you got 2 years out of, what'd that one cost?
Same thing, about 60. A brand new one's about 16,000 or 16,000, but we have all the poles and everything, so we're just buying the top, and we may have to buy sides this year. It's mainly 5 pieces of the top.
Not very good life.
No, it's not, but normally you don't leave tents up for
I mean,
5 or 6 months, and
Yeah.
that's what kind of kills it. It's getting the UV rays constantly. It's also drying out all the plastic and the rope. Just kind of hold it together. So it's been pretty good, though. I mean, for the most part, and dollars wise, I mean, it's always going to pay. It's still pretty good because 1/10. We're saving participants almost the price of the tent by renting our facility. It is really good. And the rentals are starting to pick back up. I'm worried because I think brides are like waiting a little bit this year because we were probably down, I'd say 25% coming into the year, where usually we're up at the end of the year. We're starting, hitting all the wedding venues. Yeah, it's catching back up. It's just this year's going to kind of soft way to get back to normal. Everybody's kind of easing in, and we're spending money like it's going to be a soft opening. Trying not to spend it unless we need to.
okay, anybody have any questions or concerns about financials year-to-date? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Moved. That's Bill. Have a second? Elizabeth seconds. All in favor?
Aye.